Hey, my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the startling amount of landlords that are still looking to increase rents, even though rents are at an all-time high. In this video, I'm going to give you data on how many people want to increase rents and what percentage they want to increase rents by as well on average. It's above inflation. And this is down to a lot of factors. You've got the fact that landlords are expecting costs to increase due to the EPC legislation that we're waiting on hearing more about from Ed Miliband. We're also expecting rents to increase due to the Renters' Rights Bill. The fact that in that you could have a lot more costs for landlords. So people are getting ahead of the curve. And you've also got supply and demand problems. You've got a lot of landlords leaving the market, meaning there isn't as much supply as is needed at the moment. And that's going to push rents up in a lot of areas in the UK as well. So before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 50,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part's simple. All you need to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that's really helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that takes a minute to do that. So what is going on? Well, this is by a letting company called Pegasus. They've been interviewing landlords and getting some stats on what they feel is going on in the market. And this does make sense. This correlates to other data that we've seen recently as well. So how many landlords are looking to increase rents at the moment? This current period, you've got 61% of landlords want to increase rent currently. Now that's a lot. And that's when rents are at record highs. Now, what are the reasons for this? Well, there's a few. A lot of landlords are concerned about the Renters' Rights Bill. So the Renters' Rights Bill has some stuff that could cost landlords a lot more money. There's the fit and proper home standards. So a lot of people are expecting that they're going to need to do some renovations to the property to make sure that they tick all the boxes for that. That's important. And that cost ultimately does often get passed on to tenants. So that part of the bill is a concern. You've got a lot of landlords that are concerned about the Section 21. I did a video yesterday you might have seen where in that we talked about Section 21. 38% of landlords say that's the biggest problem for them in the market, and they see that costs could go up because of Section 21. They might not be able to evict their tenant, and so some of them are putting up the rents as a little bit more insurance on that. Also in the Renters' Rights Bill, you've got the fact that for some landlords this makes a difference. I've never done this myself, but you're only going to be able to increase rent one time per year. And some did it more often. I don't think you should increase rent more than once a year. I don't think that's fair. But the Renters' Rights Bill will stop and make it so you can only do it once. That worries people as well. So the Renters' Rights Bill has a contributing factor to rents going up. What else does? The EPC legislation. This one worries landlords and is keeping a lot of people up at night. And in fact, it's one of the most common things that you guys say as landlords that's making you leave the market. So what is this? Well, this stands for Energy Performance Certificates. All properties have one if they're for sale or longer term rentals. And they just say the energy efficiency of a property. The government is saying by 2028 on new lets that you're going to have it at a level C, and 2030 all rental properties will need to be at a level C. Now, some properties just couldn't get to that level. If you've got an old Victorian property that's listed with sash windows, you're not going to get to a level C. It's just not possible. And even if you can't get to a level C, you've got to be shown to be spending at minimum £15,000 to get it as close as you can to that level. That is a cost that a lot of landlords don't have. A lot of landlords make around £2,000 profit per year per property. So if they've got to spend 15 grand, that wipes out their profit for nearly half a decade. So that's something that they're concerned about. And so landlords are looking to increase their rents to save that 15 grand effectively. So that's going to put rents up as well. And one thing that's also been around for a while is the Section 24 tax. That's a tax that means landlords pay tax on their gross rental income. Most businesses, you deduct all your expenses first before you pay your tax. Like a plumber, you would deduct your petrol cost, the cost of goods, wages, all that stuff would come out of your turnover. Not with landlords, and that's often seen as an unfair tax. That's increasing rents as well. And lastly, still hurting landlords at the moment is higher interest rates. And so higher interest rates are a problem for a lot of landlords, and that passes on to tenants. That if you were a landlord and you had a 2% interest rate and then you refinanced at 4%, that means your monthly mortgage payment doubles. And that often gets passed on to tenants. So that's one of the contributing factors as well. There's a lot on there. Now, how many landlords looked at increasing rents or did increase rents last year? 78%. So it's less than this year, but it's still high. So 78% of tenants had a rental increase last year. And the last year, the average rent has jumped now. So the average rent now still stands at £1,348, which is 5.7% up for the year. We need a new pen already. We've got a pack, don't worry. We'll have a next video, we'll have a new pen, I promise. But yeah, £1,348 is the average rent. That's huge. Imagine that. That's your take-home pay. Single person would really struggle with that kind of rent. 5.7% up is more than inflation. And look, landlords, they don't have many people that feel sorry for them. I get that. But a lot of the reasons that rents are rising isn't about landlords being greedy. It's about government policy. And there's a lot of government policy that we're looking at right now that is going to increase rents even more. Next year, you'll have the budget will have happened. They're looking at putting national insurance on rent. That's going to increase rents a lot. You've also got all of these other problems here that are going to continue to filter through. And rents, I think, will continue to go up higher than inflation. Just bashing landlords isn't the solution. Building more properties, having more competition, that's the solution. Lowering interest rates would also help with this stuff as well. What do you think about this? Do you think this is a shocker, or is this what you expect at this current time? I think it's going to be tough for renters for quite some time. And I don't think the government really at this point has any policies that are going to help, unfortunately. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do smash like. And while you're here, do make sure you grab Mortgage Secrets, how to get the best mortgage deal in 2025. We'll help you find the best broker. We'll teach you when's the right time to start your remortgage process and get those off-market lenders. You know, for car insurance, you have Direct Line. You see those adverts. Direct Line, they're not on the comparison sites. Well, there's lots of lenders that are like that with mortgages. They're not with the brokers and they're not online. So go and find out their details in here and check in with them when you're doing a remortgage. They can often be more competitive because they're not paying huge fees to these comparison sites and to brokers. So check these out while you're here. Do check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.